Vulnerability, a foundation for profound connection. On a radiant Saturday morning years ago, I told my children we were going grocery shopping. As I waited for them to get ready, my 16-year-old son walked into my room with a look of quiet determination. "Mom," he said, "I have been saving money from work, and I want to contribute $300 to our shopping." I froze. My jaw dropped. For a moment, I was overwhelmed by a mix of surprise and gratitude. He stood there waiting for my response, and with tears welling in my eyes, I finally said, "Yes, you can. Thank you." In that moment, I had to be open and honest with him that I truly needed the help. In doing so, I allowed myself to be vulnerable, and that vulnerability deepened the trust and intimacy between us. It also reminded me that vulnerability is not weakness. It is the very soil in which meaningful relationships grow. What vulnerability really means. Vulnerability is often misunderstood. Many equate it with fragility or exposure, but in truth, it is emotional transparency. The courage to show our authentic selves, flaws, and all. It is the willingness to share insecurities, struggles, and fears, even if the outcome is uncertain. To be vulnerable is to risk being seen in our raw humanity, and while that openness can feel dangerous, it is the gateway to connection, intimacy, and trust. Why we struggle with vulnerability. Despite its power, vulnerability is something most of us resist. Why? Past wounds. Our brains are wired to remember pain. If you've been betrayed, ignored, or hurt before, you'll instinctively protect yourself by shutting down emotionally. Shame and guilt. Shame tells you you are unworthy of love or belonging. Guilt convinces you that your flaws disqualify you from acceptance. Together, they silence your openness. Fear of perception. We worry about how others will see us. Will they think less of me? Will they label me weak or incapable? To avoid judgment, you wear a mask projecting strength, independence, or competence while hiding your true self. The superhero facade. Many of us cling to an image of invincibility. We want to appear in control, never needing help. But this constant act eventually leads to emotional exhaustion, numbness, and misery. Self-doubt. We tell ourselves, if people knew the real me, they wouldn't like me. This internal conflict keeps you locked in isolation, even though the truth is that we are all worthy of love and belonging. What makes us feel vulnerable? Vulnerability often surfaces in moments of transition, uncertainty, or exposure. Life changes, starting a new job, moving to a new city, or beginning a relationship can trigger insecurity. These moments challenge your identity and force you to confront the unknown. Loss and failure. When you experience setbacks, your confidence wavers. You feel exposed, as though your worth is on trial. Love and intimacy. Saying "I love you" is one of the most vulnerable acts because you cannot control the response. The fear of rejection makes many hide their feelings. Exclusion. When you sense you don't belong, vulnerability intensifies. Humans are wired for connection, so exclusion feels threatening to our very survival. It is important to distinguish between healthy vulnerability and unhealthy exposure. Healthy vulnerability involves sharing with trusted people, respecting boundaries, and taking responsibility for our emotions. Unhealthy vulnerability, on the other hand, can lead to harm if we overshare with unsafe individuals or use vulnerability as manipulation. The key is discernment, choosing wisely whom to trust with your inner world. The power of soulful alignment. Genuine emotional reset unlocks something extraordinary, soulful alignment. This is a state of authenticity without pretense and building a bond that transcends surface level interaction. Intimacy through openness. True intimacy grows when you share inner experiences, not just external events. Without vulnerability, relationships remain shallow. With it, they deepen into something lasting. Trust through honesty. Vulnerability builds trust because it signals safety. When you are open, you invite others to do the same, creating a cycle of mutual confidence. Clarity over confusion. Vulnerability eliminates ambiguity. Instead of guessing what the other person feels, you communicate directly. This reduces resentment and fosters authenticity. Imperfection as strength. Vulnerability allows you to embrace being perfectly imperfect. By showing flaws, you strengthen respect and honesty. Pretending to be flawless only distances you from others. Support and empathy. When we reveal our needs, others can respond with care, love, and empathy. Vulnerability opens the door to receiving help without shame. In conflict, vulnerability is especially powerful. It reduces defensiveness and encourages understanding. By admitting hurt or fear, you invite resolution rather than escalation. Practicing healthy vulnerability. Start small. Test the waters with minor disclosures. Share a small struggle and observe how the other person responds. Choose wisely. Notice who listens without judgment, who validates your feelings, and who offers empathy. These are the people safe for deeper vulnerability. Respect boundaries. Vulnerability is not oversharing. It's about revealing the right things to the right people at the right time. Be honest with yourself. Before opening to others, practice vulnerability with yourself. Acknowledge your feelings without shame. Self-compassion is the foundation for loving yourself. Detach from outcomes. Not everyone will respond well, and that's okay. Your worth is not defined by another's reaction. Vulnerability in relationships. In romantic relationships, vulnerability is the glue that binds partners together. Sharing insecurities, fears, and dreams fosters understanding. It allows you navigate challenges with empathy rather than defensiveness. In friendships, it transforms acquaintances into confidants and moves conversations beyond small talk into meaningful exchanges. In families, vulnerability bridges generational gaps. My son's gesture that Saturday morning was powerful, not because of money, but because it created space for honesty between us. That moment reminded me that children, too, crave authenticity from their parents. Even in professional settings, it has a role. Leaders who admit mistakes or uncertainties build trust with their teams. Vulnerability humanizes authority and fosters collaboration. Courage to be vulnerable. Ultimately, vulnerability is emotional courage. We live in a vulnerable world, and as you continue to make courageous decisions, your life would improve dramatically. In this season of your life, prioritize your mental health. Choose friends who honor your vulnerability and embrace the profound connections that arise from openness. In conclusion, vulnerability is not weakness. It's the foundation for profound connection. By practicing healthy vulnerability, we invite trust, personal growth, empathy, and love into our lives. So, dare to be seen, dare to be authentic, dare to be vulnerable. If this message touched you, I invite you to reflect on your own journey with vulnerability. Share your thoughts, connect with others, and continue building relationships rooted in authenticity. Hey, thanks for listening to my channel. If this message resonated with you, please like, subscribe, or leave a comment. I look forward to seeing you again soon.